This is when my mind goes dark. LSD trip report from Reddit. Posted by user 40-foot stretch. This was 20 years ago. There were 3 of us. We were hanging out at my friend's apartment and planning to go to a show in around 2 hours. We all drop at the same time. Blotter, if memory serves correct. My buddy, whose apartment it was, immediately went to take a shower. My other friend and I were hanging out in the living room watching TV. After 5 minutes, I start to feel it but don't say anything. Within 10 minutes, I am full on tripping, the walls and ceiling are angling in, everything is melting and booming. As someone who is somewhat experienced with LSD, this is disconcerting. It usually takes around an hour to start to kick. 10 minutes. Fuck me. Where the hell is my mind gonna be in 3 to 4 hours? I think to myself. I turn to Buddy watching TV. You tripping yet? I manage to squeak. Nope. It's only been like 5 minutes, he says as he stares at me with clearly sober eyes. We are not on the same wavelength. He will be no help to me. What the fuck? We dropped the same shit at the same time. How is he not losing his shit right now? I think to myself. This is when my mind goes dark. This is it, asshole, one hit too many, the straw that broke the camel's back, you have finally lost your fucking mind. You took the same exact drugs, but he is sober. Something is wrong with you. I had worked at a state mental hospital the summer before, and worked with patients who seemed to be on an extended trip that they couldn't get out. I was convinced this was my future. My buddy is actually pissed that he is not getting off, while I am clearly losing it. I am trying to explain to him that we took the same drug, so it can't be the drug. I have just snapped and have a life of Thorazine and drooling into padded rooms to look forward to. I have never felt more alone in my life. About 12 to 15 minutes after we dropped, I hear screaming from the bathroom. My buddy who was taking a shower comes running into the living room, but ass naked, screaming, my legs have turned black. I have never been more happy to see a fellow human being in a psychotic state. All was well, it wasn't just me. It was the fucking drug. From there on it was a great trip. I almost lost my mind. LSD trip report from Reddit. My 4th time I almost lost my mind. I was with a friend who I was showing the ropes to in terms of psychedelics, took for strong tabs and smoked a ton of weed during the come up, which I hadn't done before. I hadn't ate much that day, got back from a hard workout, and was dehydrated. I was feeling good, calming myself and waiting for the fun, then it hit me like food poisoning. I felt fucking terrible and knew I took way too much after the first hour and begun to panic a bit, because I knew I had another 11 hours ahead of me. My girlfriend came home and was worried. My friend, knowing that worry would overwhelm me, took me out of the house. We began to walk through the park near my place and it was stormy outside, which made it feel evil out, not helping. We went into this kind of eerie part of the park that I found out later someone had been killed at years ago and I thought I could smell a dead body. There were lots of ducks around watching us and I was extremely paranoid. I asked my friend if he could smell it and he told me not to look to my left side and we should get out of there. I kept asking him if there was something dead there and he wouldn't answer me, telling me to keep moving forward. I believed there was a dead body there and all of the grass around us began to change into dead bodies for miles. I couldn't look at the grass and kept looking forward. The sky was intense, it was like fast motion video of an entire day in a matter of seconds, and cement looked like bone. There were people jogging and I saw them as they in a paranoid delusion. I thought they were after us, going to call the police, or were going to harm us in some way. I did my best to hang on and not go crazy as we continued to walk it off through the field. We got out of the field into another park and the visuals were unlike anything I ever experienced before on other trips. Still assuming people were after us, I looked at a rock in the distance and my mind turned it into a truck. It began revving its engine at us, me, and I believed that this truck was after us and going to kill us. Again, I hung on and kept moving. Eventually, we made it to a picnic table when I couldn't walk anymore and stayed there for 5 hours. I'm very glad nobody called the police on us because it was a somewhat populated area, And I must have been speaking gibberish as I couldn't hold a sentence together for more than 3 or 4 words. As people walked by I could hear them talking about us, when I knew full well that they were not. It was like my mind was recoding what they were saying. Every time I tried to look at them to make sure they didn't know we were fucked up, my mind would make it look like they were staring at us when they were not, as confirmed by my friend. It took everything I could to hold on, not act on any of the weird shit that was going on, and use my willpower to remain stable. Only cool thing was, although this is hard to explain, but I could see my thoughts in colors as they were processing. I cried a few times trying to discuss past trauma from my life which freaked my friend out. My thought processes were in fractal loops, so I had to fight to stop talking about the same things, and I thought I had permanently damaged myself. After about 6 hours I felt fine, could talk again and hold sentences, had great sex later and thought I had superhuman intelligence as I wrote for hours. I've only done LSD one time since then, just one tab, and it was fine.